Hello, Duncan here from Videomania 2, and I really don't like ripping on movies too much because, there's so many talented people that work so hard on something, and, it's a real art. And, sometimes I think things get unfairly criticized, but in this case, this movie is not good at all. It just flat out isn't. And this is coming from somebody who the original Matrix is very dear to my heart. It was the first DVD I ever owned. I got it for Christmas. I still have it. I'll show it to you later in the video. This movie blew me away when I saw it in the theaters in '99. The sequels are good too. I'm more of a defender of them. Some people didn't like them, but I defend them. And they get a little out there, and don't quite capture the magic of the original, but they're still solid, and I enjoy them, and I can defend those. Now, let's get into the Matrix Resurrections. I had heard different rumors that they were going to just reboot the whole thing, and I was like, no, it's not necessary. Let's try something original. Then I heard that Keanu Reeves is coming back, and they're going to bring Carrie-Anne Moss, and I was like, okay, I don't know what they're going to do, but okay. And then I saw the trailer. I'm like, okay, I'm not sure what to think, but I want to keep an open mind, give it a chance. It could be good. I want to see something good. And then I finally had a chance to watch it yesterday, and no, I had heard it was bad, and it is. And now, before I get started, I'm going to get some good things out of the way because there's a lot of bad stuff to cover. It was cool when I first started watching it to hear that music and see kind of that greenish logo of Warner Brothers and Village Roadshow. And then, to hear that opening music. And then the movie started. So at first I was like, I got a little emotional. It was kind of like, it was cool. And then, but I felt like the rug was pulled out from under me. It was kind of like when I watched Masters of the Universe on Netflix this summer. Earlier this year, there was like, I saw Eternia, and the animation was great, and you got to see He-Man, and then it went all downhill from there. This is like that. It was like, okay, I got that, and then I started watching it more and more, and I'm like, wow, this isn't good. And then I felt a little more emotion again. I wanted to stick with it, and I did. I saw, when I saw Neo and Trinity together, that was great to see. So I got a little bit, I felt something there, when I saw them again. That was cool. Now, one other positive thing before I dive into that. Jessica Henwick, who plays the character Bugs, this movie isn't good, but she was great. Now, I'd like to see her in a movie that's good. I'd like to see her again. Just put her in a movie with a good story, and I'll probably go see it because I think she's a real talent. I'm sure Hollywood will find ways to screw it up, but you could have a real star on your hands if you give her good material. But now, let's get into the story itself. The story was bad, like I said, and the execution is even worse. And the thing here, too, is the special effects were kind of lacking to me. And I'm like, when I first saw the original, I'm like, wow, the special effects are amazing. And they had new techniques that were utilized to show all these cool new things. I remember when I saw the trailer, like, what is this? But I want to see it. And not only was it good, the story was good, and it was deep, and it combined mysticism and cyberpunk and martial arts and all kinds of gunplay and wire work and just all this stuff, and it was thrown together beautifully. Not here. And so another thing too is when I was watching this, a lot of sequels don't live up. This took sequels that were not very good to begin with and took the worst qualities from them. I know that's harsh, but there's no other way to describe it. When I was thinking I saw comparisons to The Force Awakens. I see that because they kind of reenacted stuff, only it wasn't done as well, just like The Force Awakens. But you had some older characters, so you had that. Then I saw Terminator Genesis, where you just had convoluted stuff that throws out previous stuff and renders it useless and meaningless. And you're like, what the hell was that? And it made no sense. So you have that. And then you have Mortal Kombat Annihilation, just plain out bad. But at least Mortal Kombat Annihilation embraces its badness. It's bad, but I enjoy it. Sometimes for the wrong reasons, but I enjoy it when I put it on occasionally. I got to be in the mood for it. But it is entertaining. It's, I guess it doesn't try to be anything it's not. And I think over the years people have just embraced, wow, this is so awesomely terrible. But, still has some kind of redeeming value. Maybe for the wrong reasons, but some redeeming value. This is just bad. And so, nothing Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss could have done to save this. And there's no Lawrence Fishburne, but Morpheus is back, and there's the explanation for it, and there's some lines of dialogue, and it was kind of lame. And then Agent Smith is played by someone else instead of Hugo Weaving, Jonathan Groff, I think. And this isn't his fault, but it was not good. I mean, it wasn't cool. And then Neil Patrick Harris played this guy called the Analyst, who actually kind of turned out to be the villain. I'm spoiling a little bit here, but and it wasn't a very menacing villain. It just wasn't. It didn't work. Nothing here worked. So I overall, I just did not like it, and I hate to say that because I love Keanu Reeves. Carrie-Anne Moss is great. I love the originals, especially the original, like I said. So this part of it too that I just cringed was like, it was like, it's meta. You've heard that a million times, and it was meta for the sake of being meta. Then there's a line of dialogue in there that I won't give away, but it broke the fourth wall and just deflated everything. It's just not good. Oh, I hated it. I was just like, oh, really? And there's other parts too that you just cringe, and it's just, wow. You know what's sad about Hollywood is, I remember, I've always thought, like, the way Hollywood's set up now is so risk averse. A movie like the original Matrix would never get made today. They would never greenlight it. Of course, this would never should have been greenlighted, but it had the name recognition. But it never would have back in the day. So, if you want to watch some Matrix, watch this one. This one is almost damn near perfection. Or, the sequels too have their moments and are cool. So, go with any of these and you'll come out way better. So, I'm sorry I had to go off like that, even though, but this movie just doesn't work on any level at all. So, stop rebooting stuff. It doesn't work. Don't remake it either. Just let it be its thing and treasure what it once was. And just look at these. Like when people ask me about like certain things, franchises, like I would go with, like, when people ask about Star Wars and they keep talking about the more recent ones, I'm not a fan. I'm sorry. If you like them, great. But I'm not. So, like, the original 6 that, George Lucas did, I like those. That's Star Wars to me. This is Matrix to me. These. So, that's all I got. I'll have another video for you tomorrow, an older movie that takes place around New Year's, and I'll talk about it. But this is sad, honestly, more than anything. But anyway, I'll have a more positive review tomorrow, and thanks for sticking with me this long, and take care. Till